Hey everybody, this is Putt Putt King, and I'm back with this week's story time. And for this week's story time, I'm going to tell you about the time that I made a date with someone for the Christmas dance, and they accept it first, and then they take it back. See, this what all started back when I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade, and so this was about Christmas time in 1999. So yeah, so back in 7th grade, 6th and 7th grade, I'm, communicating with a girl, that I thought, was cute. So I thought, why not give it a shot with her? And she knew that I liked her because I told her in 6th grade, and then in 7th grade, it sort of got, in the beginning of 7th grade, it got really personal. Like 7th grade, she she asked me, or her friends asked me, if I'd go to the homecoming dance with her. So I did. We just met each other there. We didn't go with each other, just met each other there. And then came the homecoming dance. I thought about, asking her, but I never did. And then one of my friends, or one of her friends really, asked her that if I've asked her, and I told him, no, I didn't. And then she tells me that, she asked her for me, and she said no. It's like she didn't really want to go, and or but and then at first, and then she's like, "Do you have any other girl?" And then I'm like, "No, I don't. Do you want to go to homecoming with me?" And she's like, "Sure." So I go with this other girl, and then of course, the other one I was talking to, she the one I was mainly talking to, she was saying, I just felt like going to homecoming alone this year. Now, but then it came. But then this is when the big one came. The homecoming was big, but next was the Christmas dance, and that's when I asked the girl that I was mainly talking to if she would go to the Christmas dance with me. She stood there for a few seconds, thought about it, and then said, "Sure." So I so I assumed, okay, great, so we'll go to the Christmas dance together, and I inform it to everybody, at home, that I'm going with her, to the Christmas dance, and for some weird reason, days just flew by, and then one day, not sure how far it was, but I remember one day in art class, one of her friends comes up to me, and she says that her friend is deciding to go to the Christmas dance herself, by herself. She's going by herself. And I think they were wanting to know, like, they were curious to what reaction it was. Of course, I was sad about it or something, but, and, kind of just, maybe had a sad face on. They assumed that I was crying, though. And it's kind of like, one of them run to me, and they're just like, so we tell you that she's going by herself, and when she's not going with you anymore, you start crying. I'm like, I'm not crying. I'm just disappointed that, that she said she'd go with me, and now she takes it back and says she's going to go by herself instead. So what I did was, like, I had to tell. So it's like after I went home, I had to tell everyone, that she says, she's going by herself, and I'm sure a lot of my family was disappointed. My mom, she was, what's the word I'm thinking? Well, she's not happy. She doesn't like that. The other word for furious, I can't think of it. But but then again, I just said, that's fine. I don't need her, There's other girls I can go with. So I asked the girl to homecoming, Asked the girl to homecoming. I said, since I'm not going with the girl with her to the Christmas dance anymore, if she'd like to go to the Christmas dance with me. And then and then she said, "Sure." So, I think that it's all good. I'm thinking, okay, she'll be my date. The my homecoming friend, she'll be my date. And I talked to her a little bit on the phone that night. Talking about it, like what my plans are. She was a little bit busy with her work, but I did talk to her about it, and thinking, like, what plans would be, and then we said we'd come across it later on. And then the next morning she's like, "Hey, I don't know if I can go to the Christmas dance with you. I'm kind of sick." And so I thought, oh well, I mean, I told her, okay, that's all right then. So of course, with her, I said, okay, so I'm guessing after those two, have fallen through, not really anybody else, left on my list for me to ask. So what I decided to do was that I decided to, was to, just go by myself. I mean, the first one, I mean, saying, that she would go with me and then decide to going by herself. I mean, that was a creep move, if you ask me. That was a creep move. But the second one, saying that, that she couldn't go because she's sick, or she was starting to get sick, I thought that's more of an acceptable reason. That's more of an acceptable reason that she can't go. I mean, I thought the first one was, just totally rude. Second one was more acceptable because I know she wouldn't want to get me sick, and you really wouldn't want to go anywhere if you are getting sick. But yeah, I just ended up going alone, and I just kind of, just decided to have some fun by myself, and just go around. I mean, go around. Find some random girls to dance with. Even if they don't have dates. You know, I mean, besides, you have one date, you might just want to be dancing with them. And then again, if you're going alone, you'll have tons of people to dance with. But yeah, that is the story of the time that I was, or thought I had a date for the dance, but it was back down. Like I said, first one was rude. Second one I find more acceptable. And I've got a and this is just one of the few girls story times I have. I'll be back next week, and you'll have another girl story then. There's about 3 of them in all, but on the 6th, but 2 weeks from now, when the third one would, I think the 16th will be maybe another story, and then you'll get the third girl story on the 23rd. But yes, next week, come back next week, and you'll get the second girl story from 8th grade. Until then, I hope you enjoy this premiere. I hope to see you in my lives. I hope to see you in my premieres and anytime I upload a video. And I hope you all have a good week as well. And I will see you guys later. Thank you for coming, everyone. Y'all have a good night or day wherever you are. See you later, everybody.